how would you confront this hatred in order to create peace?
Hello everyone, my name is Felix and I have my friend Brevis with me. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, I'm a Minecraft weeb.
Thank you for joining. We are going to debate who's the better character, Hitachi Uchiha or Nagato Pain. Mostly just Pain. But
Nagato Pain.
everyone's been debating for a while who is the better character, and I think both of them are very well written in their own universe, obviously. But it's really hard to choose which one is better than the other. Some people say they're equal, but we're just going to go over what we think is maybe the superior character. Hitachi Uchiha, you want to start things off since he's your boy?
Yeah, Itachi is the best character in all of anime history. So basically, Itachi's whole thing was he started off presented to the audience as very evil, very very power hungry, all that. Only cared about himself. But actually, the opposite was true. So if you've seen the anime, I recommend reading the novels. They're much better. They present things from the very start, like from when he's like 4 years old. From the start, when he was 4 years old, basically, his father brought him to this one of the last battles in the Third Shinobi War, and he saw like hundreds of dead bodies on the ground. His father was telling him, one day you're gonna have to fight people and kill people like this. And obviously, he didn't really want that. He saw all these dead bodies, and he said to himself, why are these people killing each other from different villages? I see these people as people. I don't see them separated by villages like my father does. And that really impacted him. So from then on, he made it his goal to become. It was a pretty naive goal because he was young, but what's brilliant about his character early on was that he was very immature in some ways and very mature in other ways. So he was naive. His goal was to become strong enough to prevent all wars from happening in the future. He planned to be so strong that he could just prevent any war from happening beforehand. So kind of similar to Pain, but not as like he wanted to threaten people with his power to not fight. So that's kind of similar to Pain, but but Pain was more extreme with it because he actually wanted to threaten people with basically a nuke to nuke their entire village or whatever.
So they all understand the same pain, that war only brings more war and pain. There needs to be a difference or the cycle will keep continuing.
Yeah, so, okay, calm down. But yeah, Itachi's approach was more, more laid back than that. He just wanted to become more powerful enough that he could stop, not even all war, just all fighting in general from happening, which is pretty, as I said, pretty idealistic and all that, but it was, as I said, that was a pretty brilliant part of his character. So he trekked on trying to do that. He trained every single day. And he actually, I don't remember the exact ages. I read the novels a while ago, but he was one of the youngest to become a genin, one of the youngest to become a chunin. So he rose up the ranks pretty quickly. But eventually he met Shisui as well. They trained together. They formed a really close bond together. And eventually, you all know what happened, I hope, if you're watching this. The Uchiha clan tried to plan a coup against the village because they were being treated pretty unfairly, let's be honest, but they were pretty extreme with it, trying to overthrow the entire village. And Itachi saw this and he knew the outcome that would happen. He understood all sides of it. He understood the Itachi's, or the Uchiha's reasoning behind their anger. He understood that, but at the same time, he knew the outcome that would come from the entire Uchiha clan fighting against the entire village. It would be ripped apart, and other nations would, of course, take advantage because at this point in the ninja world, the nations were basically taking any chance they could get to go to war with each other. So, yeah. So he decided, yeah.
I was gonna say, everyone can at least respect the fact that we all can relate to the subject of sacrificing everything for that one person. Obviously not the killing part, but the general thought to fight to protect that one person is very loving and something everyone can all understand and relate to. I understand everything in that situation of the
Yeah,
Kuretop was not realistic compared to
I'm
this
getting to
world,
that.
but the general thought is that that's something that we can never take away from Itachi. That was some real love right there, what he did for
The
Sasuke.
other theory, I'm getting to that. So basically, what he did was, what he did was to prevent all this. He made the very tough decision to kill his entire clan, and he did have to kill every single person in the clan. But as we all know, he couldn't bring himself to kill Sasuke. So basically, what he did was, from the time he was 4 years old, he had a goal to become the strongest ninja in the world to prevent all future suffering. And he this whole Itachi or this whole Uchiha massacre was kind of part of that. He did this to prevent war, but by sparing Sasuke, he kind of abandoned that goal and he shifted to a new goal of just protecting Sasuke and also protecting the Leaf Village. At the same time. So we can see how Itachi shifted from being idealistic, wanting to protect the entire world from war, to being more selfish and wanting to protect Sasuke and the Leaf Village itself. So you can see how he shifted there because of all the shit he went through, which I think is a brilliant way of writing him. And yeah, you can see his evolution, especially as I said, if you've read the novels, he made some very tough decisions in the novels. He literally killed his kind of girlfriend, I guess. It's not official that they were dating or whatever, but he had to make some tough decisions by killing her, his parents, but he just couldn't kill Sasuke, so he had to abandon all his goals for Sasuke, which is very admirable. He literally abandoned his entire dream for Sasuke. And yeah, we all know what happened after that. He went undercover in the Akatsuki, pretended to be he kind of was a war criminal, but he played it up more. And his ultimate goal was to make Sasuke hate him so that he would become stronger. Because from his experiences, he can see that revenge is really the biggest motivator in the ninja world. So he knew that if Sasuke had someone to work towards, someone to get revenge on, the more he played himself up as a villain, Sasuke would want to take revenge on him more, and thus he would become stronger than he ever would have been otherwise. Which is why he did all that. Um, and because of that, he also wanted to play himself up as being evil, so that when Sasuke finally killed him, he would he would be basically he would be absolved of a lot of the bad things he had to do along the way, because he would have been known as the guy who killed an Akatsuki member, and one of the highest ranked Akatsuki members as well. So yeah, that was his goal for Sasuke. But eventually, after he was revived, he did realize he was wrong in some ways. He should have been more honest with Sasuke. He wanted to handle everything himself, which has been part of his character forever. He always thought he had to handle everything himself. He had a lot of responsibility put on him from a young age. And yeah, he realized that he should have trusted Sasuke. He should have put more faith in Sasuke. The only person he really put faith in was Shisui, and even Shisui died in the end. So I think that also influenced him to think that he was all alone. But he realized that he should have trusted Sasuke more, and yeah, that's also a part of why his character was flawed and makes him even better. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
And how disappointing that half of the novel stuff was not actually animated, knowing that half of it was basically filler, from my knowledge. They didn't actually follow the story correctly in the anime. How of a letdown was it to not get the full picture of Itachi Uchiha?
Yeah, I mean you get the basic picture, but it just adds so much more if you read the novels.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah, I recommend it.
I do believe it's a letdown that Obito was the one who killed the girlfriend, and Hitachi didn't do the genjutsu thing that made her see her whole life in like a minute or 10 seconds. I can't remember, but
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Basically, he made her see her ideal life of living with him. Like he made her entire life play out till she was an old woman. Basically being married to him in like less than a second. So, and she realized what he was doing after she snapped out of it. She said thank you to him, and then she died.
man, that sounds amazing storytelling. That I wish we got
I
that in the
know.
anime, man. It just sounds so good. Um,
Yeah.
and I respect Hitachi, and he's one of my favorite characters in Naruto.
Come on,
And
at least number two.
uh, I would put Jiraiya above him because I connect with him personally, but we're not talking about Jiraiya. but I just connect with him a lot more than Itachi. But when it comes to Itachi as a character, like I love the way that he was ran, the sacrificing, the pain that he went through. He didn't want to kill his own clan, but he knew at the same time, like, he doesn't want a war to break out. And in my personal opinion, I feel like Itachi stopped more than just the coup d'etat. Like, the Uchiha did take over the Hidden Leaf Village. Just imagine more of a disaster, what would come after the news broke out that the Uchiha took out the Hidden Leaf. Like, they would be, planning ahead. What do we do about the Uchiha? What if they come to our village? What do they do this? Hitachi prevented a lot.
They probably wouldn't have done it either. I mean, it was stated in the novels that Itachi and everyone knew that if the Uchiha went through with this, the Uchiha would lose. Basically, all that would happen was, which adds to it even more. He predicted that what would happen rightfully is that the Uchiha would, they would do a lot of damage, but in the end, all of them would have been killed. So Itachi's thinking was, they're all going to be killed either way. So either I kill them, or they'll go through this coup, and the village will kill all of them, and a lot of people from the village will die, and it'll start another war. So in Itachi's mind, it was an easy trade.
Because from my own understanding, for the longest time, I always feel like he prevented a lot more of what would come after the coup d'etat. But that's just my thoughts. That was just my thoughts. But
yeah, of course. The Uchiha would lose, but like they would kill a lot of people in the Leaf Village, and other nations would come in for a war as well. So it would do a lot of damage.
And he chose peace more than like his own clan. Like, he loved his clan, but it's like, if you're going to cause more bloodshed, which I'm not a fan of, like, he had to make that sacrifice, and he didn't want to. Yeah. He didn't want to bring his brother into that situation. He knew nothing, and you can really understand the character of Itachi, how everyone like really respects him, and just how well written he is when it comes to the sacrifices and choices. And what's really heartbreaking is that he wanted to die as a criminal, and for Sasuke to believe that the Uchiha is like a proud clan, and he wanted him to be the hero of the Hidden Leaf. Even if you think about it, Sasuke's life still would have been a lie, thinking the entire time his brother was evil, and that's what Itachi wanted, because Obito obviously told him the truth, and everything went downhill after that. But Itachi in general wanted to die like that. He wanted to die as a bad guy, and it really hurts, but you can really understand why he wanted to do that, and it's really impactful.
Yeah, as I said, Itachi just wanted to take all the burden onto himself.
And like Obito said, no one should question his choices and his beliefs. Yeah. He didn't have the right to. But let's talk about Pain, Daddy. Oh. So, I love the concept of Nagato's life of just being a war orphan, asking for food, how to live this dark life. He has no family, no one's giving him food. He's, walking the streets of hunger and depression. He's passing out, and, he met Yadiko and Konan, and then they eventually grew up together until, they decided to find Jiraiya after the battle with Hanzo. They got taught ninjutsu from Jiraiya, and then years later, after Jiraiya left, they decided to create their own organization to change their homeland. Like, no one else is going to do it unless we put our foot down. Even though that we're children, we have to make this difference. And you see the revelation as they got older. And then after the pain of Nagato losing, his parents, and then seeing his best friend being killed after, let himself be stabbed, and you can feel how something inside Nagato's mind, it just triggered. Like, he just lost everything all over again, And then the revelation from a kid walking down the streets of hunger, depression, and all the suffering he went through, and then have to see his best friend being killed, like how he saw his family being killed. All of that just broke him in like a second, and then he just started to kill all of Hanzo's men. And then after that, he made a vow to be the leader of the Akatsuki, and take everything that Yadiko wanted to do, and he's gonna make his dream come true by using Yadiko's corpse as like he's alive in spirit. Like, he's accomplishing everything Yadiko wanted to do before he died, but since he died, he's doing it for him. And I love that concept of Nagato doing everything he wanted to achieve. And it's just really, I know it's a bit creepy because you're using your best friend's corpse, but the general thought is he's doing everything his best friend wanted to accomplish in the Hidden Ring, and I love that. The glory. And I love that.
He wanted to be in the background. During the whole Akatsuki thing, he wanted Yahiko to be the main focus. He just wanted to help him in the background, and he continued that even after his death. He wanted Yahiko to be the main face of the Akatsuki.
And what I love...
But, can I say something? Can I make a comparison real quick?
Yeah.
I mean, that's all good and all, but I don't think, Nagato losing everything is obviously very impactful. You described it well. But I think it's even more impactful when you literally are forced to kill your own family. I mean, Naruto had his family killed in front of him, which is horrible. Itachi had no choice but to kill his own family and everyone who he knew, which I think is a lot more impactful.
And what also really makes me choose Pain over Itachi, you gotta admit, between Nagato and Pain, they both have so much powerful dialogue moments where it really just makes you think about the specific moment, what's given you. Like when Nagato yelled at Naruto and said, "How can you just stand there and say life won't change you? I can't believe in Jiraiya's words. They're fiction. They're not real. I can't just keep believing in a false reality. If no one makes this difference, the cycle will keep continuing." And you can feel the anger that Nagato has, that he needs to do this goal of his, that he needs to control this balance of how the wars are created and how they function. Like he needs to do this unless he doesn't, then nothing will get resolved. And you can feel the pain that he's trying to make what he believes is right, even though it was never stated. When Pain told Naruto human beings are not the most intelligent of creatures, I think that's awareness of saying, hey, my plan may not be perfect, but like I said, if no one puts their foot down, the cycle's continuing. Like, someone has to make this justice. And Pain's dialogue between him and Nagato, obviously, it really blows my mind away of just how he talks in certain scenes where you can really understand that, like, even the main character Naruto, like, you can understand, like, he's speechless, like, he doesn't have the right to say or question what Pain is saying because Naruto is unexperienced and Pain's older. He's lived longer, he's seen how the world operates. Naruto, he hasn't, and that's why he was silent, because he couldn't respond to anything, because he doesn't have the right to say anything. And I love that. I love how Naruto just did not say anything in that moment, because it would be really dumb if he did, because, you know, Pain's in his 30s, Naruto's in his teens. He has no idea what he's seen in the real world, and Naruto is only saying what he believes is right. And that's why even Pain even said, yeah, what you're saying is justice, but what about my friends, my family? You know, what about my ideology? You know, your feelings just don't matter. My feelings matter as well. And I just have to, you know, with the cycle of hatred speech, and what I really love about the cycle of hatred speech, in my opinion, is that everyone can relate to Pain in this moment, because everyone has their own ideals of how the world should be, how the world should operate, how the world should be in the system. You know, everyone has their own reasons how this world should operate in their mindset, and we don't always get what we want. We have to live with the world that we have. But the general thought is Pain is a character that if we had the power, like he had the power, we would make that difference. And I love that. Okay, you can go.
Okay, if you're talking about relatability, I think Itachi's a lot more relatable. His story feels a lot more personal than Pain's.
I can see that. I can see that, because not everyone can control the power of wars. So
yeah, Pain literally, like, his scope was always the world, or his nation, the world, everything like that. He was always, like, ever since he even back in his, like, early Akatsuki days with Yahiko, he was always at the forefront of his nation. He was at the forefront of the world later. His focus was always huge. Itachi's focus was very small. It was to protect his village. It was to protect his brother mostly later as well. So I think he's a lot more relatable in that way. Like, his scope was very small. And I think that gives him a larger emotional impact, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would say that Itachi's character is more personal and something that would happen. Like I said, like if you take away the massacre and the killing part, but just the general thought of sacrificing everything for, you know, that one family member and protecting them at all costs, I think that is more relatable than having your parents murdered in front of you, and then, you know, you grow up in the face of war and then have your own organization. Like, that doesn't happen too often, to my knowledge, compared to someone who's actually in a situation between, you know, politics and family and innocence. Like, I feel like that is more realistic of what goes on in this world than what Pain went through. There is some things that I would say that Hitachi's life is a little bit more relatable than Pain, but that's just me talking from like a writing point of view. That Hitachi's philosophy is more personal, but Pain's, in my opinion, has more of a stronger, like, it has more stronger of weight. Like you can feel like what a person would do if they could do these things, if they had that power. And I kind of feel like that also is relatable, because if we had the power of anything, we would change what we want to change in this world. But at the end of the day, I do agree that Hitachi's his life is something more of what could actually really happen compared to, you know, Pain's route. But I want to give some Pain's credit of how we would think if we had power, you know. So I'm trying to give credit to both right now.
Yeah, of course, I do too. I mean, Pain's my second favorite, but Itachi
Second?
just, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. But
GG. Yeah, but they're both really good, but Itachi's just because of these factors I mentioned, him having to make the actual choice to kill his family over his family being murdered in front of him having to carry that guilt his entire life, him having to go undercover in an organization, him having to display himself as evil when he wasn't to the whole world, all this weight on him. I just feel like makes him better.
I will say this: I loved, and I have to compare at some point. I think they also followed the manga in this scene as well. But I would have to say Hitachi's dialogue to his parents when they told him that we respect your decision. The only thing that we care about is you protecting Sasuke. We're proud of you, and Hitachi's just gripping his sword with pain and crying. I think the way how his parents died versus how Nagato's parents died, it had more of a stronger impact than how Nagato's parents were killed, because I kind of feel like they were killed very fast and very rushed, and it didn't really have a lot of weight to it. But with Itachi's situation with his parents, it takes the time of the situation with minutes going by. You can feel the dialogue, you can feel the pain, you can feel the suffering. When Nagato's parents died, it happened in like a couple seconds, and I don't know if it's really all that impactful compared to the Itachi situation.
I should say that the deaths had a lot of meaning. Nagato's parents' deaths were just a random killing.
Yeah, I agree. I prefer the Itachi situation better.
Yeah, and Itachi's parents, those deaths had all the meaning in the world. So that's also another impact.
But besides, if we're not counting the light novel stuff, which I like me and other people, I have not read. But another reason why I always put Pain above Itachi, from my perspective, is because there's so much more to explore with Pain's character. While Hitachi, he's there getting screen time, but he's always been that character just in the background, the Akatsuki. He's just there to do his duty with Pain, doing the Tel Beast hunt, and he's not really a character until we get to the Sasuke versus Itachi fight. Because besides that he was always just taking doing his orders from Pain and going on the missions he was told to. Like, he was just a character just to sit in the background. But that's the thing that we found out, that he was just playing a character the entire time. That was never the real Hitachi. Yeah, he had to feel like
that's the brilliant part of it.
Yeah, he had to convince the Akatsuki that he was this evil dude. He couldn't show his true feelings.
There was a brilliant episode in the anime. I don't know if it was filler or what, but it explored Itachi's exact thoughts the entire time he first went back to the Leaf Village. Like when he when he first saw Sasuke again, when he fought Sasuke itself, all his thoughts. Oh my god, that was a brilliant episode.
Oh yeah, that was the episode where Madara got blackstabbed by Black Zetsu. We actually get to see Hitachi's viewpoint of how he felt about Sasuke, and Sasuke's remembering Hitachi's life. I think that was the episode you were talking about. But
not sure.
But I would say
explored Itachi's thoughts when he first went back to the Leaf Village and saw Sasuke and everything.
But I would have to say, and I know you're not going to agree with me, but I think Pain has much better dialogue moments than Itachi. I can't take that away from Pain. He's just killer at talking about politics and war and shit. Like, it really hits you. Itachi, like I said, he's usually just playing a character in the Akatsuki when he's given the missions he's told to give him.
It's because he has nothing to say. If he said anything, it would ruin
I know, but that's the main reason why I can't just put a guy who just sits in the clouds of the Akatsuki just giving out orders and just that's all he is until we found out the secret. Pain, we actually get his backstory, we get dialogue, we get him actually doing shit, we actually get more of him with Itachi in the anime and the manga, besides the twist.
Of course he's one-dimensional until you get the backstory, that's how it works.
I know, but that's the thing.
You have to look back at him. You have to look back at him after you learn everything.
That's the thing. People say Itachi is better than a lot of characters just because of that one twist, but I kind of feel like, at the end of the day, Pain had more to explore.
There was multiple twists.
Like that's like saying Pain is only good because of his cycle of hatred. No, I like Pain a lot more than just that speech. That's the same thing
Like
with
what?
Itachi. People feel like just because of that twist about him being a good guy, he's automatically the best character.
That's not the only twist.
Okay. Basically, I'm
The
saying
twist
I need
isn't just,
more
oh, he's a
than
good
just
guy.
a twist. I need more than just a cycle of hatred speed. I need more weight. And to me, I feel like out of the two of them, Pain had
Itachi
more
has a
weight
lot of
in
weight.
the story. If that's
No,
what I'm
Itachi
saying.
had a
If
lot of, even before the twist. I told you in his childhood in the novels, he had a lot. There was so much
yes, and
content.
the
in
novels
this.
should have been in the anime, so I can rank him higher. But it was never in the anime. Sadly.
Read the novels. You can go pirate them. Brevis XD condones pirating these novels.
All right.
Definitely do.
All right. So at the end of the day, I think Itachi's more. You could argue he has more of a personal arc, and Pain has more of a strong strong lore of how the world should work, kind of depth. And I kind of feel like out of both of them, you could say Itachi's more relatable compared to Pain.
Okay, I'm gonna say a hot take here.
What?
Okay, so during Itachi's childhood, he was basically without all the suffering of Pain. All right, some suffering. During his childhood, he was where Pain was at the end. His goal was to change the world, and I think the brilliant part about him was he started off as Pain, but then he transformed more of a human throughout the story. So he basically starts off as Pain, and then he transforms into more of a human later on. So he's basically Pain, but better.
And what I love about Nagato, he took everything Yariko said. Yariko was the original person who said, I want to become a god and change the world. He took that after he died, and he became the symbol of Yariko's body, that he's living everything that he wanted to do. And it kind of feels like Yariko is fulfilling his dreams, in spirit. Obviously not there, but just in spirit in general. And I love that concept of him just trying to do everything he can to fulfill his best friend's wishes, dead or alive. And he's really putting the work into it. And you see him make that change. You see him kill Hanzo's family. You see him going to the Leaf Village and making justice to Tsunade, that the Hidden Leaf Village isn't so, nice, and you're responsible for a lot of damage. And Pain challenges people with politics. Jiraiya, Tsunade, Naruto, he challenges people with his ideology. And like I said, he's great at dialogue moments. I love Pain when he fucking talks. When it comes to Itachi, there's just not a lot I can get out of Itachi because he doesn't talk a lot through these moments. It's like I'm pretty sure there's more dialogue and great quotes from him in the novels, but in the anime and manga wise, he's just been that character that's suspicious and you wonder about him, but he doesn't have any great dialogue moments. Could you agree with that? He doesn't have any strong quotes besides the "I love you" scene.
Yeah, because he really couldn't. That wouldn't have fit at all.
But
So
there is
awesome.
one quote that's always stuck with me when Itachi told to Sasuke, "Once reality might be another's illusion." That is something that is very strong. I love that quote because it means saying what we see in our life, it may not really be real. Someone might be lying to you.
His quotes are good in that he could only do quotes at that time in innuendo.
Oh.
So if you read into them, they're good. But
Itachi
can't do these direct speeches that Pain did. He couldn't do that at all.
Yeah,
It's
Itachi
impossible.
has some great quotes and dialogue as well. It's just I feel like Pain has way more when it comes to them out of the two of them.
Yeah, because he could actually he was powerful enough to reveal all these things. Itachi had to keep everything secret. He could not reveal anything. So that's why.
All right. Well, we're going on 30 minutes. So, you love Itachi and I love Pain. I think they're both equally.
I love them both.
I think they're equally both. I think they're both equally well written, but depends which version. Not version, but it really depends on what writing point of view that really connects with you the most. I feel like people are going to make that connection. You can always say a character is better from a writing point of view, and you can also say a character is better because you connect with that character more. That's what we call bias. And out of two of them, I may give credit to Itachi that he's more, that his arc is more personal, but I just relate to Pain a lot more. But
read the novels, you'll see. You will see.
Okay.
Itachi's incredibly well written in the novels.
Okay, so do you think they're both A characters?
Itachi is God tier character. Pain is S.
Oh, you bitch. Okay. Thank you for coming, Brevis.
Yes.
Shit. All right. Subscribe to Brevis if you like Minecraft and comedy. Shit.
Comedy.
All right. Later.
Comedian videos. All right.
Bye.